Welcome to the only YouTube channel that answers the only question you need to ask yourself before you head into a movie. Does it entertain? I'm here to answer that question for you today. Chris here, and I'm so excited to be able to talk about Suicide Squad. This is a movie that I've been looking forward to the entire year, and even since they announced it. I'm so excited that I finally got to see it, and I'm excited to let you know what I thought about it today. So let me answer that first question that we all want to answer before we head into the movie. Does it entertain? Is it even worth my time? And absolutely, this movie is entertaining. It's so much fun to watch. Great characters, fun story, unique take on the whole comic book movies that we've been able to watch over these last several years. It is a ton of fun, and I promise you will have so much fun as well. Does it have problems? Yes, but that's not the point. These movies are here to make money. They make money by entertaining us. If we're entertained, we're going to go. We're going to tell our friends to go. They're going to make more money. It's about making money, so they only get that money if they entertain us. This movie's entertaining. You will have a ton of fun, and I'm excited to tell you more about this movie and what I thought today. I have tried to get away from reading reviews and seeing too many trailers before I go in to a movie because I get preconceived notions as to how it's supposed to be. And certainly, as you can tell from the backlash from most of the fans out there, they have disliked the critics and what they've had to talk about. And when I read that early reviews and seeing, 5 out of 10 and so forth, and even worse on Rotten Tomatoes, it really hurt me. I was still wanting to see it, but I went in and going, oh, it's going to stink, it's going to have this problem, according to this person. And so I had that preconceived notion, and I don't like that, because I want to go in the movie to be entertained and not have those things. So I shouldn't have read it, and I actually read it, and that was a mistake. But I enjoyed it. Overall, it was entertaining. It had problems, sure, just like every other movie, and that's not the point. Like I've talked about repeatedly on these videos, it's about entertainment. Are you being entertained by watching these videos? So let me just get out of the way the stuff I didn't really like or is just a little off. And I think a lot of it, as we've learned here in the last couple of days, was the editing, particularly with the Joker. I guess let me say first off with Jared Leto, I think the jury's still out on him. We don't have enough to really gauge his story. You didn't really get to see his motives. You don't really know why he was kind of the gangster thug. You don't really know why he would seem to be leading this conglomerate. You don't really know the full story, so it's difficult to really tell why he was the way he was. And as we've learned from interviews with Jared Leto these last couple days, it's because they left a lot out. They shot a lot more and left it on the cutting room floor. So whether it was an editing problem or not, I think, with him, particularly the Joker, there was an editing problem. You didn't really know where he disappeared to. You don't really know what he was up to, what his motives were. You knew what Harley Quinn's motives were, and I think it worked well with that. And maybe if you cut a little bit more of the Joker, it would have been good. But at the same time, it seemed with all the marketing and trailers, he was supposed to anchor this movie as being a person, whether the villain or someone who takes part with the Suicide Squad or something. I don't know. But it was just a little off. You weren't really quite sure. Again, not that I'm against Jared Leto. I'm just a little out on what he has to say or what he's doing in his story. We'll have to see how it all pans out into the future, because I think we'll get more, and maybe even with a extended version Blu-ray release, we should be able to get some more stuff that way. So that was kind of the biggest thing right off the bat. While most critics praised the first act, I thought it was, while enjoyable, a little slow, because you fill in the backstory of everybody, and anytime you get those, they can be either too little or too much, and this one was a little too much, in my opinion, but as most people said, that was the best part, and then it just kind of went downhill from there. I disagree. One other particular problem I had was with the villain. Now, I don't want to say who it is, because when I went into the theater, I didn't know who it was, and whether it was because I missed that with the trailers or not, I didn't know who it was, so I don't want to spoil that. But the person that they selected for the villain could have been a good villain, but was a little lacking. Just like most of these comic book villains that we've had in movies as well as TV shows like The Flash and Arrow, just your villain of the week type thing that you don't really, they're just there to make the plot move, and you don't really know why they're doing the things they're doing, what their motives are, and this was kind of the case with this person. Could have been great. I think they could have done a lot better if they maybe would have tweaked some things a little bit. And it's difficult to talk about too much without mentioning particular names and so forth, but CG was a little weak for part of those the villain scenes, as well as just the motive, not really knowing why they were doing the things they were doing. Why did you call it the Suicide Squad to fight this person? Yeah, it was important, I guess. Anyway, it was difficult to really have that motivation. Let me talk about the things that I loved. Loved Harley Quinn, loved Deadshot. Even Rick Flag did great. Amanda Waller, who you just she's just a despicable character because she could be so ruthless, was played excellently on screen. It looked very well. Margot Robbie did a fantastic job. You really enjoyed it. Don't feel like you saw too much in the trailers. It was entertaining to watch her do the things that she did, and you laughed so much more, especially with her and the Joker. You were able to really get into that character. Deadshot's another one that I don't know a whole lot of. Nonetheless, was able to learn a lot more of outside of the Green Arrow universe. Was able to learn a lot more on the silver screen and be able to appreciate what Will Smith was able to bring. It was fantastic. The rest of the Suicide Squad, interesting. They picked certain characters. Killer Croc was okay, enjoyable. Would have been nice to have a little bit more of him. Captain Boomerang, I thought was a good, comfortable mix right there. Too much maybe would have been just too overwhelming, too less. You've been wondering why he wasn't there, or why he was there. Katana, wish there was a lot more there. You don't really know what was going on with her. Rick Flag was a great casting, great character as well. So overall, I enjoyed the characters, the main characters you had to work with. Love the cameos that we get from other DC characters and mentions as well. And I just had a lot of fun. That's the important thing. I went and I had fun. I laughed at the right times. I enjoyed the action scenes. Was able to be really invested in future movies. And was able to learn new things about some of these characters. And it was just ultimately very enjoyable. Had a lot of fun. Like I said, there were some problems with it, but not enough to drag it down and give it such terrible scores on Rotten Tomatoes. Not sure what's happening with these things. Like I said, I've enjoyed Man of Steel. That was one of my favorite ones. Batman vs. Superman, while it had many problems, was still very enjoyable. Suicide Squad had some problems, but not nearly as many, and yet it's getting a worse score than Batman vs. Superman, so go figure there. I don't understand. Like I said, the importance of this channel is find out if it's entertaining, and this movie was entertaining. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It was very entertaining, and I enjoyed it very much, and you will too, I promise.